I'm joined today by our visiting scholar, Dr. Stephen Willing, and we're talking about critical thinking and Christian character. Steve, welcome to our program.
Thank you, Ken.
You know, one of the experiences I've had, Steve, for a long time when I teach graduate students logic is that sometimes there's a gap between their knowledge of the logical principles and the Christian character. And what I mean by that is oftentimes they're very good at identifying fallacies and making arguments, but sometimes they kind of use it as a way to confront people rather than kind of in a more humble way to lead them to truth. Have you experienced that kind of thing?
Oh yes, I started learning these logical fallacies in college, and I found that they're great. They're very useful weapons against anybody who disagrees with you, and that's sort of the tendency. We tend to weaponize it and just use it against other people, and mostly it's a matter of pride. We're very full of ourselves. We like our own opinions. We try to reinforce our opinions. We tend to apply our intelligence, our skills of argumentation. We tend to employ all these in defense of our own positions and as a weapon against others rather than for genuine self-reflection. Of course, in the end, that becomes counterproductive because if you are stuck where you are, you never increase in wisdom. The only way to grow in wisdom is to occasionally change your mind on something.
Well, there are things like fallacies. We also know that there are biases that can cloud our thinking, propaganda, and obviously learning the principles of reasoning can be very helpful there. But we also want to talk about how we correct those things. You talk a little bit about cognitive reflection. I wonder if you can tell me what that is and unpackage it a little bit.
Well, there's a general definition, there's a technical definition. Some researchers in this realm who are following the footsteps of Kahneman, the Nobel Prize-winning psychologist and researcher who did all the original investigation along with Amos Tversky on cognitive biases and heuristics, they came up with very simple tests. These are some fundamental questions that you could ask people, and there are right answers and wrong answers. A classic one of these is you have a baseball and a bat. One of them costs exactly $1 more than the other. The total amount you spend is $1.10. How much the bat was more expensive, how much did the bat cost? The intuitive answer is almost always the wrong answer, and whether you're talking about random people off the street or Harvard undergrads, majority of people got it wrong. And the reason they get it wrong is not because they don't know how to do the math. It's because they simply think it's so easy that they answer from the gut. They answer automatically rather than simply taking the time to think about it. They're using what Kahneman called level 1 thinking, which is quick, effortless, heuristic-based thinking, rather than what they call level 2 thinking, which is slow, reflective, and analytic. Any one of them, if they were encouraged just to take a moment to think about the answer before responding, the likelihood that they would get the correct answer goes up significantly. But that level 2 thinking takes effort. It takes time. And they have a test for that based on that one problem plus a couple of others, which is used a lot in research. But there is also a broader definition for cognitive reflection, and that encompasses less precise but more abstract things like self-reflection, looking for opposing arguments and considering them seriously, considering the possibility that you might be wrong, looking for other solutions to the problem or other possible options and weighing them carefully. Example might be when you have a group together, the term brainstorming. It's when you get people together to attack a problem. You first look at all the possible solutions before settling down on a single one.
So I call the golden rule of apologetics is when you look at an argument and you consider other people's thinking and reasoning the way you want yours considered. So I may be able to combat biased thinking, fallacious thinking, by thinking deeply about an issue, slowing down, giving consideration to other things. These can kind of bring your thinking back on the track.
Right.